Hey Marcy, I am absolutely pumped because I've gotten enough time to kind of really start getting a good idea of ways that I think I could really start helping your fitness journey. And something that I wanted to kind of individualize to you is not just kind of like writing you up, typing you up workouts and sending you to them. And then you have to do all this research of like, well, what's this movement and what's that movement? I want to start giving you a foundation or a library of different videos that we can refer back to kind of understand the movements a little bit more, and then give you a little bit more of a complete experience of like who I am as a coach regarding like the motivation, the inspiration that can't always be communicated through just reading on a verbal text. And I want to give you that energy as much as possible. That's something that you said that you felt like you could really feed off and give people, and I want to give that back to you. And that's why it has taken a little bit longer today, because this is my first opportunity to kind of get to film everything that I wanted to show you in more of a video format rather than just something that we can type up. So I wanted to give you our first workout that we're going to go through. So this will be typed up for you as well, though. Amanda will hook that up really good for us to make sure that we can have a good idea, not only on paper, but then referring back to the video for any technique. So we're gonna go through 3 different sections today. Each one of these, we're gonna be on an AMRAP. So AMRAP, right, we're gonna have I'm just gonna have you have a certain timer on your phone, and we're gonna make the time periods really easy for both the resting and the actual doing of the movement. So the first section that we're gonna have, these are our foundation movements regarding body weight that we wanna always be able to really nail down well. And what I'm gonna have us do, especially when you're first going, and since you might be spending a lot of time on the road anyways, I'm gonna have you recording at least 1 round of each one of these segments for me, so that I can at least see visually what stuff that you're doing, so we can interact with the actual coaching techniques that might be a little bit better for you moving forward throughout the program, since we don't get to spend as much time one-on-one. So the first one is body weight squats and push-ups. So for body weight squats, right, going over kind of those basic points, right, we want to make sure that we're finding our hip angles correctly, meaning like in grade school you get taught, right, to keep your feet straight, right, when you squat down, but this actually goes against our anatomical positioning, meaning our hips kind of naturally have more of an angle to them, meaning the most natural groove for us to sit all the way down is going to be a little bit different based off of everybody's hip angle. So I want to make sure that we're really emphasizing finding a good positioning while we're squatting through that motion. So that's going to be our first movement. It's going to be our body weight squat. We're going to do 5 repetitions of our body weight squat. And then once we're done with those 5 repetitions, we are then going to do 3 repetitions of our push-up, right? So as soon as we're done with that, we'll make our way to the ground, right? And those push-ups are gonna emphasize making sure that we squeeze our back as we lower down, right? Put pressure on your fingertips, right? Push your fingers into the ground when you're going through that push-up. Why you're doing that, right, is when you're grabbing or putting that tension on into the ground like that, you're pulling on the tendons, which means you're gonna have more engagement from that muscle, all those muscles within our arms, to allow us to push through that movement a little bit easier. So we're gonna do 3 push-ups, and then as soon as we're done with those 3 push-ups, since we're on an AMRAP, we'll then cycle back through for those air squats. So we're going to be on a 1-minute AMRAP, so you'll be doing this for 1 minute, and then we'll have 30 seconds of rest. So we're going to be doing a total of 4 rounds on this specific movement. So I'll make sure that Amanda types everything out for us as we're going along, but that's going to be our first section. So the full sequence would look like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, make them look easy, just like this too. 5, and then we're going to do 3 push-ups as soon as we're done with those 3 push-ups. Again, same thing. 5 air squats, continuing moving forward. So that's going to be our first section. Second section that we have, we're kind of like that kettlebell movements. I want us to even get familiar, especially since we're going to be using that kettlebell in a very dynamic way. I want us to be able to build a good body control as well when it comes to rotating our body a lot more and moving it in more unique ways. I think both kettlebell based and body weight based are gonna be great ways for us to continue developing on it. So I want us to do some of those movements body weight and not with just that kettlebell. So the movement that we're going to start with is going to be what's called a sit out. So how this is done is I'm going to be in not necessarily a plank position. I'm going to be in what we call here at Compound Fitness a bear crawl position, where I kind of have my knees underneath me, so it's kind of making that L shape. And then from here, the first thing that I'm going to do my sit out is I'm going to take my left hand away, I'm going to take my right leg, and I'm going to sit out, and then I'm going to touch my right leg to the ground, right? And then all I'm going to do is replace by rotating myself back, and then I'm going to change directions, right? So that is a sit out. We're going to be doing a total of 2 on each side, so that'd be 4 repetitions total when it comes to our sit outs in our second AMRAP. After we're done with those sit outs, we're then going to do a reach back. How a reach back works is I'm going to be now more in a plank position, and I'm going to be pushing up like a pike, and then I'm going to take my hand, touch the opposite foot, come back to that plank position, and then touch that opposite foot. So that's 2. We're going to do a total of 6 or 3 on each side when it comes to our reach back. So same sequence as that top one. We're gonna have 1 minute of work, and just move at your own pace. It doesn't mean you gotta be like moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour as you're going through the workout. What it does mean is that we should be kind of focusing on trying to work as much as we can, like whatever our best effort is during that 1 minute, and then taking 30 seconds to truly rest, right? Just focus on catching your breath, and it's a separate between the two, right? So when we have that time to work, just work as much as you can. When we have that rest time, just really rest as much as you can. So the full sequence would look like this. So if you want to practice along in the video, this would be, I'll try to make these sections where you can at least get 1 practice round in with me before you actually go into the sequences yourself. So we're gonna go reach back, right hand up, left leg kicks through, reach back. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4. Then I'm going to go reach back, that's 2, that's 4, and that's 6. And then I would go straight back to those sit outs. And I'll do, again, 4 sit outs, or 2 on each side. And then I will do 6 of our reach backs. That's going to be our second one. And then the final one that we have, we're going to go on a little bit different of a clock. We're going to be doing 30 seconds of both of these, right? Or it's going to be, excuse me, not 30 seconds, 45 seconds of an EMOM to get both of these done. And then that's going to roll into 15 seconds of rest. So this is where we're gonna get our heart rate up a little bit more, but with more movements within the upper body. So the first movement that we have is gonna be our our Superman rows. We're gonna do 8 Superman rows, and then we're gonna do 8 scapular push-ups. That's where I'm focusing on just pulling my shoulder blades together and then driving back on up, right? Squeezing my shoulders together and driving up. So we're gonna have 45 seconds to roll all the way through that, and then we'll have 15 seconds of rest, and that is going to be for 5 rounds. And those are going to be the 3 movements or AMRAPs and circuits that we have to start off. And then I will get the rest of them out to you later on tonight. So have a great workout, and I look forward to continuing to help improve your fitness journey along the way.